We have created a table with interchangeable inserts. We invite you to a short presentation.
The table in question is our slot system, in this particular case carefully built on the already popular Expert base.
But you can also use a table from the Pro series as the base for this. This is our patented solution, where we have inserts that we call inserts and specially prepared holes in the table, which we call slots. Thanks to this, we can mount such an insert in a slot and gain the ability to use a thread. But in addition to being able to mount them, we can also swap them out however we need to achieve the desired configuration. Besides threaded inserts, we also have other types of inserts, which we will talk about in a moment. But first, regarding the threads.
So when it comes to threads, we can configure such an insert however we like, based on our needs and preferences. We offer a range of inserts from M8 to M20. The one shown here is an M16 insert. This gives us much greater clamping force when positioning welding tools on the table. And another significant advantage, it allows us to simply replace the threaded insert if the thread gets damaged. If we had threaded holes made directly in the table, any stripping or welding spatter sticking to them would permanently damage the table. In that case, the thread becomes completely useless. With this solution, we have the option to replace the insert with a new one or move it to a different location.
This is also important because when we choose the solution that features threaded holes, we are able to achieve a very high clamping force, which is a significant advantage. So in this context, clamping force is the main factor that we care about and prioritize. It may happen, for example, that one of the inserts gets its thread stripped, or perhaps a spatter or some debris gets inside the thread. In that case, we simply replace just the one affected insert, which is a process that is very quick, very straightforward, and also very inexpensive. And as a result, we still have a fully functional product, a table that is ready for use. And in addition, we can also swap out these holes for different thread types, depending on the specific configuration or requirements we need at any given time. Just like in this case, we can bolt our tool or anything else we might need to the table using really high force, which is made possible by the threaded inserts. Right now, at this very moment, we have it fastened with M16 bolts because those are the inserts that are currently installed in the table. As I've just loosened it, we can rotate it or bolt it down in another spot if needed, depending on our needs. But we'll also unscrew it to show exactly what it looks like, so you can see the details. And simply, with just 2 bolts, we have the tool securely attached to the table. But besides being able to bolt it to the table, we could also mix it with other types of inserts. For example, one specifically designed for working with traditional tools. In this example, on the right side, there are Expert tools made from 25mm thick sheet metal. And on the left side, we have the Pro series, which is 15mm thick. On a single table, you can work with different tool systems, which gives us greater flexibility and adaptability in our work. This versatility is one of the key benefits of this solution.
In fact, our tools can be freely swapped. In this particular case, the inserts themselves can be exchanged with each other. For example, let's say that in our workshop, we have tools from the Pro series, which are 28mm in diameter, or from the Plus series, which are 16mm in diameter. The inserts can then be exchanged across the entire table, allowing you to use it with complete flexibility.
Everyone knows how welding tables work. Now we'll show you exactly how our new system operates. We carefully unscrew the tool. Here we have the Expert insert, which is 28mm in diameter. We can easily mount it back in place. On the left side, there's the Pro insert measuring 16mm, and all of this is set up on a single table. If needed, you can quickly swap out the insert. If you need a thread, you can simply install a threaded insert. In addition, other functional inserts are also available for use.
For example, like our magnets, which have quite a strong and reliable holding force for a given profile. This profile is securely immobilized.
We can definitely use this for grinding, actually, you know.
This solution has a truly significant advantage. When we want to grind a profile, the strong magnets hold it very securely in place. During the grinding process, the force applied is generally not strong enough for the profile to shift or move. On a standard welding table, the profile would have to be clamped down to ensure the grinding process is safe. In such a case, part of the profile remains inaccessible for grinding. Physically, we simply can't reach that area. By using magnetic inserts, we have access to the entire profile, allowing us to grind every surface thoroughly and efficiently.
Another type is our inserts with rollers, which make it more convenient and smoother to move the element on the table.
The example here shows a small piece of sheet metal being handled, but it is important to note that this solution also works effectively for much larger elements as well. For particularly large structures, a significant amount of force or even an auxiliary device is often needed, such as a cart, an overhead crane or a jib crane in order to rotate the element safely and efficiently. Additionally, you can add a dedicated table whose sole purpose is to rotate the workpiece in a controlled manner. After rotating, the workpiece can then be set up again for welding or for other subsequent operations as required.
That's all in this brief and concise summary of the solution. Thank you very much for watching our video. We invite you to visit our official website and our online store. If you need more information, we will be very happy to answer any questions you may have.
See you next time.
Goodbye then.